What's up guys, Alex Wallace here from Wallace Training Systems, and today I'm going to answer the question why you're probably not training that hard on your own. So we're all kind of isolated right now. We have to train by ourselves, whether you have a home gym or whether you're doing some of the exercises that we've showed in our videos. I'll link those above. We're doing things on our own right now. And what you probably realize is you're really not as sore as you thought you would be, or as sore as you're used to. So I'm gonna break this video up into two parts. Part one is my experience with people who train on their own and then train with somebody, whether it's a training partner, whether they start using an app, or whether they come in here and train one-on-one with us or in a group setting with us. I'm gonna break that up to my experience. I'm gonna do an experiment on myself, and then the second part of this video, I'm actually gonna look at what the research says. How hard are people actually training when left to their own devices? First, let's talk about my experience. So oftentimes people will come in here, there's really a myriad of different reasons. Sometimes people come in, they just need accountability. Sometimes they don't have the information. But then sometimes people will come in here, they'll say something such as, I've been training X amount of time on my own and I can't help but notice that I'm not getting results. And again, sometimes that's because of a lack of information. Sometimes it's because of the lack of accountability. But sometimes it's because they just don't train that hard. I can't tell you how often somebody will come in here that has training experience, and after their first session, they're like, oh my God, dude, I am cooked. Whether they're cooked because of the cardio or the strength, but they're just straight fried. I know they're pushed further than they're willing to push themselves because the proof is in the pudding. They're more sore, they're more tired. It's just overall a harder workout. So now let's talk about the experiment. So what I did is I switched how I squat and I switched my rep ranges up. So if you haven't seen my powerlifting meet, I'll also link that above. Make sure you watch that. I have a decent squat. It's not great, it's not world class, but it's pretty good. So what I did is I switched from low bar to high bar squat, and I started that earlier this week. And what I was able to do is, granted the weights are lower, my first set I hit 365 for 10. High bar, I put my Olympic shoes on. For me, that felt like a hard set, but my experiment is simple. That set of 10 I thought was probably 2 reps shy of failure. So what I wanted to do is see how far could I actually take that set? How far can I take 365 high bar? So that's what I did. Check it out. So the first time I did this weight, I thought I could get probably 12 reps. I stopped 2 reps with what I thought was failure. Turns out I can get 16 reps with this. So really, if I wanted to stop 2 reps short of failure, I would have gotten 14. So I underestimated by roughly 4 reps. Honestly, maybe if I really hit the gas, I could get 17. 4 to 5 reps, but what does the research say? Well, I was able to dig up a few studies, but I found one in particular I really liked. And what they did is they had a group of men and they had them select a weight that they would normally use for 10 repetitions on the bench press. And what they found was when they were basically, I don't want to say forced, but when they were told to go to failure, some of those people were able to get 11 reps, but then some of those people were able to get 21 reps with their self-selected 10 repetition working weight, with the median being 15. So most people can do way more repetitions than they can with their working weight. At least that's what the study suggests. That's what I notice, and that's the experiment we just conducted. But what are the practical applications of this information? The practical application is that there should be times in your training cycle or in your program where you really press the gas. When you're trying to either hit PRs or you know you're gonna have several days off, maybe a week off, and you really need to press the gas. And in those times, that's when it's very important to find something to motivate you to get that next rep or two. And in some cases, the research suggests maybe up to 5 repetitions in addition to what you think you can get. Now, I think if you do that all the time, you risk overreaching. And if you do that consistently enough, you risk overtraining. But for most people that come into the gym 1 to 3 times a week, you probably just need pushed a little bit. And again, the way to do that is either have some type of program written for you, find a motivated training partner, or work with a professional that can actually help you get to the next level. So let's just recap. We've established in my experience that most people that eventually find some person to work with, whether it's a professional, a training partner, or an app, they're more sore, they're more tired, they get a harder workout than when they do it by themselves. My own personal experiment tells me I'm a little bit soft. I really don't train as hard as I think I am. And believe me, I will be making adjustments in the future when we're actually allowed to be around other people again. And then lastly, the research also suggests that most people, when they self-select their weights, are shortchanging themselves. But why is this the case? The entire point of the video is why you aren't training hard enough. And I don't think that you should be ashamed of that. I don't think that that makes you necessarily weak. I think that's the natural state of humanity. I think more often than not, we try to find the path of least resistance, even if more resistance, no pun intended, will lead to better results. So I'm not saying you need to work with me or a trainer or professional or anything like that, but one thing I am saying is you should find something to motivate you. Find something that'll help you get just a little bit more out of your workouts, because I think that makes a huge difference. I think most people are trying to either say, oh, they don't have the information, or oh, I don't have the genetics, or whatever it is, but most of the time you just aren't training hard enough. And I'm just as guilty of that. Again, I don't think it's something to be ashamed of. I think it's just the natural state of humanity. So that brings us to the end of the video. If you liked the video, make sure you like the video. If you like our content, if you've been watching our content and haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Again, I'm Alex Wallace from Wallace Training Systems, and thanks for watching.